Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about the iPhone SE2 in 2023. This iPhone is about 3 years old now, but does it still hold up 3 years later? This iPhone was released alongside the iPhone 11 series, and this was the budget option. This was the second installment of the SE series. The first SE did amazingly well sold units wise, and this SE was no exception. It sold 24.3 million units. That's how many Apple sold in 2020. That's quite a bit of phones, and they're still selling on Back Market, eBay. I'll put some links in the description if you guys are interested in buying this phone in the end of the video. The screen is a 4.7-inch LCD Retina. It is not a high quality screen. It is a very budget friendly screen, but it is still a very capable screen. If you're outside, I don't have any trouble seeing this screen. It does get a max brightness of 625 nits, and I know that's not crazy high, but again, I have no problem seeing it outside, even with the sun. Now let's go over the build. The build quality is a glass back, so wireless charging is going to work for this phone. This phone has a very nice feel. If you're someone who uses a case like me, I'm just going to cover it up, but if you don't use a case and you really trust yourself, unlike me, then this phone has an amazing finish. It feels really good, really premium. It weighs in at about 148 grams, and this thing is not uncomfortable to hold. What you're getting with the battery, with this 1,821 milliamp hour battery, what you're getting battery life for how much it weighs is really good. I'm getting a day's worth, and I only have 84% battery life on medium to light use. On heavier usage, you're probably going to end up charging this thing maybe more than once a day, which is fine if you have a fast charger, because this thing fast charges at 18 watts. This thing charges up pretty stinging fast. And of course, having wireless charging is a really nice feature. There are 3 other colors you can actually get this iPhone in: black, white, and red. Now, white, honestly, to me, looks definitely the cleanest. Now, let's look a little more deeper inside this phone. This thing has the 813 Bionic, which is one of the main reasons it sold so well, because it was sporting the same chip as the 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max, which are still very capable iPhones to this day. And it has 3 gigabytes of RAM, which also helps with speed. For any kind of medium to light use, this thing is gonna shred. Even some heavier tasks like Call of Duty Mobile, it's still gonna eat it up, no problem. You can get this thing in multiple storage options. I have 64, but it comes in 128 and 256 as well. Some of the features this phone has is it does have Touch ID, and the Touch ID absolutely flies. Even when my finger is wet sometimes, it still reads it instantly and is very snap and very fasty, and I would say pretty reliable. It also works with Apple Pay, which is really nice if you use that. I guess this would be a good time to talk about the cameras. On the back camera, we're sporting a 12 megapixel camera, and this thing can take some pretty great photos. I mean, just look at some of these photos, and I was actually like, wow, that's actually a pretty decent photo. For only a single camera setup, this thing is a very good camera. It still has the same hardware as the iPhone 8. They just upgraded the processor, which was able to make the photos a lot cleaner looking. This thing also does have portrait mode if you want to take selfies a lot. I hate taking selfies, so that's why I'm not showing you any. As for the filming capabilities, this whole video, except for a few shots, which I will put text in the corner so you know what shots, were taken with an iPhone SE 2020. Shot at 4K at 24 frames per second, and I think they turned out pretty good. This thing does, of course, have slow motion, which does shoot in 1080p at 240 frames per second. It does have HDR capabilities, and all around a very good mediocre camera. Does not have night mode, so it's not going to be amazing in low light conditions. Now, the selfie camera is a 7 megapixel. It can shoot at 1080p at 30 frames per second. It does have HDR, but it's just all around going to be really good for like FaceTime calls, and that's about it. Maybe the occasional selfie shot. Nothing crazy happening here. So this iPhone price varies a little bit from like $130 to maybe like $160 for the base gigabyte model. And I think that is where this price really shines, is the base gigabyte model. Because if you go any higher, I feel like that you should be looking at an 11. And maybe I should say who should be buying this phone. People who should be buying this phone are people who want Apple's ecosystem, don't want to spend a ton of money, just want to try Apple's ecosystem, doesn't mind the Touch ID, doesn't mind those bezels making it look old, showing its age, don't really care for cameras that much, just want the occasional shot of your kid or something like that, and you're a medium, little bit lighter user, this iPhone is going to be perfect for you. Now, if you want a bigger screen, maybe if you have bad eyesight, and just need a bigger screen, then you're probably going to want to look at an XR coming in at about $200, $190, and you're getting just one lower processor and a bigger battery, and then it can run everything this thing can run. Basically, if you guys need a bigger screen, just go for like an XR and an 11. But if you guys enjoy the small form factor like I do, I really love this thing's form factor. I love how I can just easily slip it in my pocket. Really good form factor, really nice and tiny. I love this phone. I would recommend it to someone. But if you need a bigger screen, then obviously go for an 11 or an XR. But if you guys like the small form factor, don't mind the bezels, like Touch ID, want a pretty good mediocre camera, this is the iPhone SE 2020 and it works great. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, comment down below and say, hey, I found this video helpful. That really helps me. Or if you guys have any helpful suggestions, please comment them down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.